the challenge to produce educated and honorable men. For me, it was September 1949.
To me, third squad. First squad, sir. Remember that. You, turn around. What squad are you in? Third squad, sir. You make sure he follows you. Yes, sir. Sound off. Action, RW, Gainesville, Virginia, sir. Sound off. Pound, MA, Springfield, Virginia, sir. Sound off. Jordan, GH, Virginia,
For a century and a half,
yes, sir.
Generations of young men have taken up the VMI challenge. The challenge to extend the limits of their physical, mental, and intellectual potential. The challenge to be a part of a team. The challenge to think straight, make decisions under pressure, and most importantly, to do so with honor.
The rat line is like a pressure course. You learn stress inoculation. You learn to work under pressure. You have 3 or 4 guys yelling at you at the same time, asking you a whole bunch of different questions. You're trying to answer their questions. At the same time, you're thinking about the 2 tests that you have in the next couple hours. Your girlfriend just slammed you, wrote you a Dear John letter. You've got all these things that you're thinking about, and the idea is to just keep plugging along. Keep working at it. So it's a lot of pressure, but you just have to learn to deal with it.
The whole rat line experience is the most shaping experience that a cadet goes through at VMI. You learn to depend upon yourself and upon your friends, and the friendships that you do create here at VMI during the rat line are the closest that you'll ever have in your life. You depend upon each other day in and day out, and you become very close in that way.
Get out your rap Bible.
Hurry up.
Hurry up! Turn to the Code of Gentlemen now. Read it.
Without a strict observance of the fundamental code of honor, no man, no matter how polished, can be considered a gentleman.
VMI men not only share the unique, common bond of having met the challenge of the rat line, they also share the timeless values upon which VMI is built: leadership, responsibility, and sacrifice.
Sir, Corporal Atwell, Private Hayes, Private Jefferson, Private McDowell, Private Standard, Sergeant Wheelwright, Sergeant Cabell, Private Crockett, Private Hartsfield, Private Jones, died on the field of honor, sir.
The sacrifice of the cadets who died at Newmarket over 100 years ago is never forgotten.
Right, face. Forward, arm. Detail, ready, aim, fire. Ready, aim, fire. Ready, aim, fire. Detail, present, power.
dedication of these young men is a model for cadets growing up in generations to come. Today, VMI cadets still carry that heritage in their hearts.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies.
The Corps still awakes to reveille. They still roll their hays and prepare to meet the day's challenge.
Academics are tough. You have to put a lot of work into them. Professors usually don't cut you any slack. But when you get your grade, you know you earned your grade. It's the one thing you can take pride in. It's yours. You work for it.
If you've got a problem, you know the teacher and he knows you, and so you're not a stranger to him. And also the class is small enough that if you do have a question in class, you can ask it immediately. And it's not like there's 400 people there, and the teacher won't know who you are and won't recognize you. I think it's a great advantage.
I have never found a cadet who was afraid to come in and talk, and my door has stayed open the entire 40 years I've been here to cadets who had problems, be they academic or personal. It didn't make any difference.
The physical challenge will always be part of the VMI experience. The sense of teamwork, commitment, and duty developed here prepares cadets to make that extra effort. The extra effort that will enable them to meet challenges throughout life.
Get up, let's go!
The ring. The ring worn by VMI men signifies that they have met the challenge of the rat line, the classroom, and the honor system.
Very special moment in any second classman's year, and a very special moment in any cadet's life is the getting your ring, your class ring, which will happen for me very soon. Looked forward to it for 2.5 years now, and it's something that will stay with me for the rest of my life. That will be a trademark for myself and my brother Rats to wear with pride and walk around and be able to be identified as a VMI man.
For a century and a half, generations of VMI men have worn the ring, binding them to the timeless principles of honor, patriotism, and self-discipline. It signifies that VMI has continued to meet its challenge to produce educated and honorable men.
The country will always need leaders, particularly leaders who are capable and honest and men of integrity and principle. Not everyone will be a George Marshall, but it's this kind of people that I'm talking about. We'll always need people like that. People tend to measure schools in terms of professors and PhDs and books and buildings. The real measure of any college is the quality of the people it puts out. What do they do in the real world? And I can show you, step by step in close detail, that VMI's record speaks for itself.
Today, VMI faces a new challenge. The Institute must preserve its heritage and mission, but it must advance with the pace of advancing knowledge. Like any state-assisted college, VMI faces rising educational costs. But But state support only provides about 1/3 of VMI's budget. And unlike other state-assisted colleges, VMI is faced with the cost of an educational program that lives and breathes 24 hours a day. In 1978, these key programs and facilities were made possible by an unprecedented initiative which raised over $35 million in commitments. Led by the late John DeButz, VMI class of 1936, and later chairman of the board and chief executive officer of AT&T, a group of VMI men saw the challenge and met it by initiating the VMI campaign. Now VMI is on the threshold of a new era. A small number of dedicated alumni and their families have committed more than $20 million as a challenge to the Institute's alumni and friends, asking them to match this amount with endowment commitments and to raise an additional $10 million in annual giving commitments by VMI's sesquicentennial celebration in 1989. Added to VMI's existing endowment resources, this will give the Institute a total of $150 million in resources and commitments by its 150th birthday. Annual giving is now critical to meet the sesquicentennial challenge. This year, it's my privilege to be VMI's national chairman for annual giving. In a few days, you'll receive a phone call from a VMI cadet. He'll be calling from right here at the Institute to invite you to join me and VMI men throughout the world to help meet that challenge. I hope you'll respond to that call.